difficult to regulate something like that because like it's difficult. ICOs are actually a result of the potential of this new technology. So basically, to regulate ICOs, some countries are looking at regulating the technology. Although at the same time, I see that in Europe, for example, they are basically don't have the intention to regulate ICOs or something like that. They are more looking at taking like a one step back and just quietly see how this evolves. But I think it's really difficult to regulate ICOs because there's already the question like, is it a security? Is it a utility token? So there's a lot of like regulatory complexity involved. So in my opinion, I think they will have a hard time to define what is allowed and what is not allowed in ICOs. I think there's only one way to do it, and that's proper due diligence and research. And it's, how should I say? The way I look at it personally, I'm not. In all honesty, I used to have a little bit more time a couple of years ago. These days, I'm fully consumed by them. So I don't do a lot of investigations anymore for ICO projects or whatever. But what I usually do is like I try to assess where, like, if I expect some return on my investment, it should come from somewhere, right? So basically, if I don't understand where the money would come from for a return on investment, then usually I prefer to stay away from these opportunities. I think sooner or later, like somewhere in 2018, I think we're gonna see a bubble burst. But it will, in my opinion, it will recover, and I think by the end of 2018, we're gonna see like a very big increase compared to what we have today. That's at least what I think. Because in the end, as long as the regular man in the street has not yet invested in cryptocurrencies, I think there's still a lot of growth possible. And so I think we're still, in my opinion, we're still in the early stage of adoption. Although the last couple of days, especially for Bitcoin, have been crazy. So I certainly don't think that this amount of growth is sustainable. Good question. Well, it's I think ideally we would sooner or later get into a regulatory possibility to have actually like real stocks and shares on the blockchain, because then it would become more like the legacy stocks and everything. Now people find creative ways to make it a utility token or something similar. And basically that's, what should I say, in my opinion, a lot of ICOs, actually due to the fact that they find like they are actively looking to make it a utility token, actually usually it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think a lot of people are going to lose at least some money with it. So yeah, whether they need a token or not, it's always about like, if somebody invests something, they expect to make a return on it. So obviously people in cryptocurrencies that invest in cryptocurrencies or ICOs, they expect a higher return than the average investor in the outside of the crypto world. So yeah, it's a tough question to answer. I think we see a pretty big difference between the regulatory perspective in Europe and the US. In Europe, they are kind of like wait and see, and then like they are taking a more passive approach. In the US, they are like really on top of everything. So I think in the end, this will mean that in the US, they are probably going to put a halt to the innovation a little bit. And in the long term, I think it will hurt them. I cannot speak for Russian, like the Russian region and Asia, because I'm not really 100% aware of what's happening here in Asia. But I think in general, it's probably The way I see it, I think in Europe, blockchain and cryptocurrencies are going to be growing.